During all those years, Stan and many others thought that psychology had to change too. Of course, they were embracing what psychoanalysis was saying because in fact was the base of the starting point. It was a very important ground, but they said there's more to it. And Stan Grof and a few others got together and they decided to coin a new name for the psychology that was going on. And that's how they coined the name of transpersonal psychology, meaning that personal psychology has only to do with the biography. Transpersonal psychology goes beyond your biography. And let me give you a few things that are like the landmarks of transpersonal psychology. To start with, Stan Grof and many others proved that we are not born as a tabula rasa, we are not born blank, but in fact, the time we spend in our mother's womb and the process of being born leaves an important imprint in our psyche that even thought we cannot be aware of it is unconscious. It's an important imprint for the way we're going to then acquire the experiences of the childhood. Another important thing is that they said, okay, it's true that we have a very animalistic nature. That's true, we all know this. If you know yourself a little bit, we all know the animal inside, right? We better, right? But not just that, they said, yeah, but we also have other chakras. We also have higher, nature. So they say many human beings, when they're left alone and they can do whatever they want, they don't attack others, they don't rape others, they don't kill others. They go and save other people. They go and create NGOs. They go to Kathmandu because they're needed now to help people they don't even know, Human beings are also, they're saying, in transpersonal psychology, they're saying, human beings are also capable of generosity, of empathy, of higher vibration, emotions, and acts. And transpersonal psychology says, and we are interested in the whole spectrum, from the most animal to the highest, most divine nature of the human being. Also, transpersonal psychology changes the view of therapy. And of course, the first purpose of a therapeutic process is to relieve suffering, to alleviate suffering. If there is suffering, that should be the first thing a therapist works with. But many people nowadays are doing therapy because of other reasons. Many people come because they want to work with their potential. They want to explore their creativity. They're exploring the meaning of life. It's like, why am I here? What's my purpose in this life? Or they come to therapy. We have many people, because we are related to Buddhist communities in Spain, and we have many people who are meditators, and their masters tells them, if you want to improve your meditation, work in therapy. Why? Because some of your personal issues, sooner or later, come on your way of your meditation, The path to enlightenment goes necessarily through the path of your personal issues. There is no bypass. Sorry if anybody thought there is a bypass. Anybody getting sad right now maybe? But there's no bypass. The master said, you have to deal with your issues. And anybody who tried to sit and meditate for just 1 minute, as soon as you sit, if you're angry, anger comes up. If you're sad, sadness comes up. If you're angry with your father or your mother or whatever, you're sitting on a volcano. We're sitting on our own volcano, on our own neurosis. So many people come because it helps their meditation, okay? Many people come because they feel, even though they have everything in life, supposedly they're supposed to be happy, but they're not. They want to know why. Or they want to have a mirror, somebody who helps them to go beyond what they thought was their limits. So many other things, to know yourself better, whatever. You see, which are reasons there are not just suffering, but go much beyond suffering. So transpersonal psychology becomes a psychology that embraces all that and also embraces spirituality, which is not the same as religion. I'm sure you know this, but I just want to make sure that when I say spirituality, you all know what I'm referring to. So religion, whatever religion it is a hierarchical thing in which, there is, for instance, in the Catholic, there's the bishop, and then there's the priest, and then there's, I don't know what, the nuns, and then it's all of us, okay? And it's like this in most religions. And normally in an organized religion, in order to have a religious experience, you have to go somewhere, like a church, a synagogue, whatever, and then there is somebody who officiates a ritual, and you follow the ritual. So somehow your connection with God, in a way, is mediated through all that. Okay. In spirituality, the idea is you have a direct connection with whatever it is, if you think there is something, whatever name or form it might have, if you think there is something higher than yourself. And there is no need for anybody to mediate that relationship in between you and that higher force, fundament, being, source, energy, whatever. And in fact, many of us, when we were children, had that experience. Children do have a connection. We lose it as we grow. But most of us as children, we had connection with the divine. We knew it. We didn't need anybody to tell us how to pray or, all those things. We just had that connection. No? So transpersonal psychology is interested in that connection, in the possibility of the human being to have a spirituality that connects with as Jung would say, the numinous, the sacred domains of reality, which for psychology is completely new. Before transpersonal psychology, if you would, in fact, most of the saints, if you take them to a traditional psychiatrist or psychologist, they would have been labeled as some kind of personality disorder, because they were saying they see God, they sleep with them, they talk to them. You go to a regular, in the 50s, you go to a regular psychiatrist and you tell them you talk to God and God has, whatever, and they put you, into medication. You know what I'm saying, okay? So the fact that spirituality is not considered a pathology anymore, but an important part of the experience of the human being, is one of the important things, one of the important changes of transpersonal psychology. And really, really important for us and the work we're going to do is that transpersonal psychology rescues from our ancestors the possibility of working in non-ordinary states of consciousness. Okay, we will see what that means. But that means that we have this state of consciousness, but this is not the only possibility. And transpersonal psychology says, okay, for like 100 years, all the work in non-ordinary state of consciousness has been considered like, a little crazy shaman, this is like voodoo work, like tribal little, non-scientific work. But transpersonal psychology goes beyond that and studies the work of all those people and rescues all those ways of our elders, in all the world, and puts that together with the new knowledge of psychology so that we can work like that as well, which is what we're going to do tomorrow. We are a tribe. Together, we are a tribe, and we're going to create a safe space, and we're going to use a media, which is the breath, and we're going to use the music, like most tribes did, and in fact, we would use a lot of tribal music, to create a space in which we can expand our awareness, like our elders all over the world have been doing since the beginning of times. So it's very shamanic work, it's very tribal work, but with the knowledge, adding the knowledge of today's psychology.